I'm giving a warning in this episode. Please, if you are wanting to murder yourself by jumping, please do not. I will help you if you need to talk to me. You can actually just. I don't care if you actually want to talk to me. I just want you guys to be all safe and happy with my content. So please, if you are triggered by this, please do not listen. I love you all so much, and I do not wish for anyone to think these terrible thoughts. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy.
Todoroki was lying in bed, wide awake. It was the middle of the night, and he could not sleep. Usually there were the nights he liked to go up to the roof of the castle to enjoy the cool night air, and stare at the stars. However, the night guards were stationary everywhere in the hallway outside his room. They'd send him back to his room without another word if he even stepped outside his bedroom. Of course, it was Todoroki's own father that caused this. One of Endeavor's recent partners, was some sort of dragon-taming barbarian, had left his kingdom divided. Citizens had made likely empty threats to attack the castle, so Endeavor had security increased. Usually a few guards were stationary, would be sleeping, playing a card game, or simply letting the young prince pass. But he knew that now the punishment was raised. He knew full well the sort of punishments his father dealt to servants of the castle. The king, Enji Todoroki, would beat them, even for as small as missing a few cubes of sugar in his tea. The destructive men didn't even stop at just the servants, as Shoto and his siblings were all aware. Todoroki couldn't stand laying in his bed anymore. He needed to get out, even if he would risk injuring himself. He opened up the large window in his room. It was a rather deadly drop down, but a quick climb up. Todoroki took the risk and pulled himself up to the window sill above his own, a basket of flowers set on the window, which he unfortunately found himself having to step on as he tried to make it to the next window. There were only 2 he had to climb up before reaching the edge of the roof. He pulled himself over it, landing on top without a scratch. He looked around curiously and spotted a figure standing on the roof ledge. They were staring down at the ground, night clothes swaying in the light breeze from the high-up roof of the castle. He slowly approached, a bit curious since they were so close to the edge. Todoroki was quick to recognize the girl standing there. Yin Lin. You were one of the younger maids at the castle, about Todoroki's age, and you've been working at the castle for at least 10 years now. It had been so long since he last had a decent conversation with you, much less even heard a simple greeting from you. Back when his mother still had some rule over the kingdom, it was different. Todoroki remembered those times when his mother was still Queen Todoroki. She had found you one day in the woods, fading in and out of consciousness, covered in bruises, burns, cuts, and scrapes. It was obvious something had happened to you, but it didn't matter to Rei. She had taken you back to the castle, caring for you and treating as if you were her own daughter. Not long later, she was removed from her position as queen. Now, she resigned in a small cottage in the woods that acted as a hospital in between kingdoms. As for you, you weren't one of the king's biological children, so he forced you to be a maid of the castle if you didn't want to be kicked out of the castle. And obviously, you faced the same abusive treatment as anyone else who even remotely served Endeavor. Todoroki was quick to piece together it all and realized that you didn't seem to have a good state. You were standing close to the ledge of the large, deadly drop. Your head was tilted down as well. You were surveying the drop. It was clear to Todoroki that you had the intentions to jump. Yin, what are you doing? He called out. Huh? Prince Shoto? You respond in shock. Not long after you became a maid, you had been assigned as his personal one due to your similar ages. That didn't last long once his father saw that you, a lowly servant, brought happiness towards him, his son. He made it so your paths never crossed in the castle again. As a result, you began to serve Enji more than Shoto, and had clearly taken quite a toll on your mental state over the years. Get off from there. You're going to fall. Todoroki stretched his hand out to you. I'm sorry. I can't go back. You shook your head, confirming Todoroki's belief on your intent. Yin, please, don't do it. His eyes showed grief when you gazed into them, grief that he was unable to help you. Even shame, like it was his fault that you were here. You looked between him and the drop, intently debating your option. There was a far-off look in your eyes. You weren't paying attention to him. Todoroki wanted more than anything to pull you off the ledge towards him. He needed to do something. He wasn't going to stand idly by as you maybe attempted to take your own life. But what could he do? Only his mother really knew your past. And you were the only one who knew about only knew about your pain. He wasn't much of a help when it came to comforting people either. So, even if he had saved you, what good would it do if he couldn't stop it from happening again? Shoto left his outstretched hand fall a bit as you took one final look towards him, your feet shifting slightly as you opened your mouth to speak, but no words came out. Todoroki had pulled you into a hug. He had swiftly moved you away from the edge, making it impossible for you to slip off or away. My prince, please, let me go, you yelled, crying, struggling against his arms. He didn't budge. Don't do this, Yin. It's not worth it, he began. Yes, it is. I can't take this anymore. No matter where I go, the same thing always happened to me. I don't want to live my life like this. I'd rather end it. You broke down. Todoroki's eyes widened slightly, a bit taken aback by your words. He pulled you closer to him, if that was even possible. It's all right. You don't have to worry. He awkwardly comforted. All he could do was repeat those words. He once heard from his mother, Todoroki was hopeless at coming up with encouraging words for you. You reached one of your arms up to wipe your eyes, causing him to see a thin red line and scrapes along your wrist. The sight of them made his throat tighten a bit. You can sleep with me tonight, he said, holding your hand. What? No, I can't. Your father wouldn't allow it. And... You began trailing off. Shh, it's okay. I don't care what that bastard has to say. If you stay with me tonight, then I'll get you somewhere special tomorrow. No one will hurt you again there, I promise. He gently held your hands in his. But they'll search for me. Then they'll kill me. You seemed to panic at just that thought. They won't. The people there will keep you safe. I know them, and I trust them. I will burn this promise to you. His gaze pierced your own. Oh, okay. I trust you. You sniffed a bit. He felt honored by those words. Thank you, but I need you to help me with something first. Prince Shoto, I can't believe you snuck out of your room. You know how dangerous that is. You alerted the guard. Alerted the guards that stood in the hall. Has something happened, Miss Lin? One of the guards approached you. I found the prince up on the roof of the castle. Don't worry, I'll take him to his room. You held Todoroki by the wrist. He followed you almost like a dog being dragged, with his usual emotion on his face to prove the fact. Right, at the corner of the hall, miss. Thank you for safely bringing the prince back, another guard directed, before standing back in his position. You nodded and followed the directions to the large-looking door. Todoroki swiftly unlocked the door, then pulled you both inside. The guards didn't seem to notice, as he went by the following silence, making you both have a small sigh of relief. Come on, my bed is big enough for both of us. The other maids shouldn't bother in the morning if the door is locked, Todoroki quickly said, walking towards the large bed that covered the majority of the bedroom. Are you sure? You blushed. Of course. He led you to the bed. You laid down on it, the bouncy mattress and soft sheets being the best you slept on in years. He got in next to you, pulling the thick comforter over the both of you. Not long after, he wrapped his arms around and pulled you closer. It was a bit surprising, but you didn't mind the warmth. Reality. I remember when we were children that my mother found you. She said you had ran out of the forest, but I never got to know what happened to you before you came here. He said. You were silent for a bit. You remembered the times when you were children. It was always a nice time. You'd never met anyone else your age before. You knew you could trust him. Even as a maid, you grew up with him in a way. That's why you trusted him more than the others who worked at the castle. Todoroki was nothing like his father, so you trusted he didn't betray you or hurt you. My dad was a terrible person, and he hurt my mom and me. We don't live in any of the kingdoms. We live in the middle of nowhere. There's no one to help us for miles. One day, my mom ran out. He ran after her, and I took my chance to run away too. I went all the way to the main road, and I tried to go somewhere away where I could. I ran into your mom's carriage, and then she took me here. I don't know what happened then, but I think your dad stopped it before they could even find the house. Everything was fine here, but then your father, the king, he was like my dad, and I just couldn't. I don't want to live a life where I'm constantly insulted and injured, you said, starting to cry more at the end. Todoroki held you close to him, trying to pat your head comfortably. He tried to do what his mother or siblings did to comfort him when he was younger. It's okay. I'll end it for you. Tomorrow it will be all over. The kingdom next to ours is ruled by a very nice friend of mine. His name is Midoriya Zuko. He's coming for a meeting tomorrow. I'll tell him your situation, and he'll take you back with him. Okay? He said, pressing his forehead to yours. Will I ever see you again? You asked, looking away from him in embarrassment. Of course. Midoriya's kingdom is close to ours. I'll visit when I can, okay? Then you'll be safe, he smiled. Thank you. Thank you so much, Todoroki. You said, hugging him back. You can call me Shoto, he said as you looked up at him. He smiled down at you, leaning over to press his lips on yours. Your eyes widened as you kissed back. He pulled away. You should sleep a bit. Tomorrow you'll have a long day. Okay. You blushed, resting your head on his chest. You quickly drifted off to sleep, hearing him talk a bit as you did. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, Yin, he said as you fell asleep.